Hey everyone, back with another video. Day 3 basically just came and went. Well, almost, since it's just it's only 11 p.m. But yeah, day 3 just came and went, just like any other day. And I probably should have mentioned this in my first or second video, or in both of them or something. None of my videos are scripted, so basically it's just gonna be me talking straight from the heart with no scripts or edits of any sorts, anything like that. Apparently nobody has found this podcast slash set of videos yet, or if they have, they're not interested, but still, I will keep making these types of videos because, again, first and foremost, this is my therapeutical public journal, if that makes sense to anyone. I know it does to me, so for what it's worth. And in the end, I mean, it's just, now that I think about it, it's just my third video, so at this point in time, I mean, it's my third video in this playlist slash podcast, not on YouTube, but still, at this point in time, and also taking into account YouTube's algorithm, nobody even knows I exist yet, technically. So, but regardless, if you find these videos and you want to help or be helped, remember, just reach out to me on any of the socials found down below, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, as for today's journal, well, nothing special, just more of the same, I guess. Watch some more Starfield reviews on YouTube, among some other videos, like stuff from Cosmos stuff, shit like that. Played some Dead by Daylight. I'm actually still playing it, but I took a break to make this video. I'm still waiting for Starfield to fully release, even though I won't afford it, but still, my hype and love for that game actually makes me feel a little bit happy knowing that others will get to experience the cosmos in such an awesome way. Again, if you didn't know, I'm really passionate about the cosmos, which basically engulfs everything. Okay, so that's today's journal, but what is new, however, is that after much thought and consideration, I officially intend to finally give up certain customs slash mannerisms that I've created throughout the years to cope with the more extreme panic attacks. For example, having someone near my proximity whenever I go in through a severe panic attack, or immediately picking up my phone to call someone as I feel an attack coming, just for the person I call to keep me company and the likes. All in all, using these methods to help me get through the more drastic panic attacks faster and easier. So yeah, giving those up is officially a top priority for me. That's the new business in terms of today's journal. And the outcome, I guess I'll just have to wait and see how it all pans out. I mean, just thinking of going through a very serious panic attack all by myself with maybe the aid of some Xanax is in and of itself terrifying, to say the least. But after more than a decade, I think it's time I started to face these situations, if not completely, then almost, if not completely out of my comfort zone, then at the very least almost completely out of my comfort zone. So that's gonna be fun, but in all seriousness, sooner or later it had to be done, among other things. But these other things that I speak of must wait their turn for now. As usual, baby steps. So basically, at the end of the day, I guess what I'm trying to say is that um, after all the bad shit that has been happening in general, but with this year alone especially, which has been a horrible year overall, and one that has put me in some very difficult situations, it's officially time for me to step outside my comfort zone, so to speak, and start facing reality in the most grim and unforgiving ways possible. Or at the very least, it's time for me to do something along those lines, along a more savage approach, for lack of a better word. Give me a second. Yeah, like I said, these videos are not going to be edited, scripted whatsoever, because reasons. That's just how I choose this to be. Sorry about that, I just had to water down a pill. So yeah, like I was saying, it's time for me to step outside my comfort zone and start facing reality in some grim ways, or at the very least, it's time for me to do something like that, something along a more, like I was saying, savage approach, for I don't know, for lack of a better word than savage. I mean, I don't know. I definitely don't have all the answers, and for that matter, I barely have any answers to begin with in regards to mental health in general, and even in my particular situation. But what I do know is that the worst thing that can happen at any given moment is to just simply die. So be it from natural causes or otherwise, and I would like to think that I've made my peace with that. So the only thing left is to try again, and then try some more, I guess, until something eventually happens. But that's all I got. And now that I think about it, this whole what could happen? I mean, this is something I've been struggling with, and I will probably keep struggling with it for a very, very long time, maybe until the day I die. Who knows? Because now that I think about it, this whole, just as I was saying, what kept at any given moment, what's the worst thing that could happen? You die. Sure, some would argue there are worse things than death, and I am not going to argue with them. They are right. There are certain things that are actually worse. But from my perspective, at least from my perspective, what's the worst thing that could happen? Before a panic attack, during a panic attack, after a panic attack. So it makes no sense. I mean, obviously, none of this makes any sense. None of the stress, the anxiety, the all the disorders and phobias and shit like that, the panic attacks. None of this makes any logical sense whatsoever. On a conscious level, I am not afraid of anything, or at the very least, almost anything. But subconsciously, or fuck knows where inside my brain, it's like there's 50 people with AKs surrounding me constantly. I don't even know what metaphor to use as an example. But it makes no sense. If I'm not afraid, then why am I afraid? Because all these coping mechanisms and the Xanax and all this shit, these are, were and are, and probably will be implemented in the future, not just by me, but by other people as well, because they're afraid of the next panic attack. Now, the only sane argument I would have would be the fact that you've been through 1, 2, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 panic attacks, and you fear the next one because it makes you feel horrible. And it does. It does make us feel horrible, to say the least. I haven't died to come back, and obviously I cannot give that as an example, but for lack of a better example, it's for those who haven't had panic attacks, it's like you're dying constantly. You die, you come back. You die, you come back. It's a horrible feeling. It's very hard to put into words. Or maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. Maybe I lack the vocabulary. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is a dumbass paradox which I will not understand. Apart from that only argument that you're afraid and you take the Xanax and you implement the coping mechanisms and shit just so that you can avoid the next panic attack or get through it faster and stuff like that. Why? I'm still left wondering, why the fuck am I why do I consciously say that I'm not afraid when at the very same time I am afraid of the next panic attack? It probably doesn't have anything to do with the fact that death or anything similar would be implied, as much as it probably has to do with that only sane argument that I had, that it's a horrible feeling and you don't want to experience it again. But again, what I don't understand is, after the 10th, 50th, 100th, after the 1000th panic attack, one would assume that you would be accustomed to it by now, right? So I don't know why the body, the mind, or both don't completely adapt to this bullshit that is a panic attack. I have no idea. I'm I don't know. And a lot of shit doesn't make sense, but this is probably top 2, if not number 1. Why the hell am I not adapting, and why the hell am I still afraid of the next panic attack? I don't get it. So yeah, it's again, I'm going to try to finally give up, officially starting tonight after this video. I'm gonna give up, if not all, then almost all the customs and mannerisms and shit like that I've created throughout the years as coping mechanisms, and I will deal with this on my own. It has to be done. I have to try this as well. I've tried this in the past when I was in therapy, basically facing your fears, and it didn't work. Well, the definition of insanity, set by Einstein, is doing the same shit over and over again, expecting different results. Well, then call me insane, but I've reached the end of my rope. So if I'm not left with any more options, what the hell am I gonna do? Improvise. Although this is not exactly an improvisation, considering I've done it in the past, but still, for the sake of argument, for the sake of this monologue, for the sake of this video or whatever, I'm gonna call this an improv situation where I try this again. I'm gonna try to go through panic attacks and all the bullshit that's going on through my life as alone as humanly possible, and see what happens. Again, what's the worst that could happen? But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I probably should have. This video is already 15 minutes long. It's probably not even gonna reach anyone. But again, that's not that's not the point of this. I have to constantly remind myself that these videos have 3 main points, but they do have an order. Number 1, therapeutical process in which I express myself, even if it's not to someone in particular. Still. Number 2, as a sort of journal to keep track of, I don't know, any potential progress or regress, or I don't know. And number 3 is reaching out to someone. Number 3 on the list of these videos on this podcast is the number that deals with potentially reaching out to people. Basically, people finding these videos, watching them, hearing them, interacting with me, and so on and so forth. So yeah, 16 minutes and a half. Again, a little too long, but if that's what it takes for me to get out all the shit I have to get out, then so be it. And for one last time, if anyone out there finds these videos, if you feel like you can help, or if you need help yourself, do not hesitate to contact me using any of the socials down below. So I guess that's it. That's pretty much it for today. Thank you for watching. Always remember, in case you are struggling with anything similar or remotely similar, always remember, you are not alone. There's many of us. We have to somehow, I mean, yeah, I need to say this is the last thing. Obviously there are support groups out there. Romania, my country, or at the very least, no, I'm not going to speak for the whole country. My city does not have support groups. I don't even think it has support groups for alcoholics and drug addicts and gambling addicts and shit like that. Let alone for support groups for people in situations like mine with mental health issues. My city does not have support groups. The country itself, no idea. And even if it did, I don't even go outside my house. So how the hell am I supposed to go into a different city? But yeah, I am completely aware that on this huge ass planet there are support groups in many countries for mental health people, people with mental health issues. But I personally don't have access to those. I have looked on the internet. Best I could find were some forums where, best case scenario, the last post was a year or two ago. Discord servers that say they do this don't actually do this. They don't actually offer the support they say they do, or the support they should. Best case scenario, they empathize, but that's it. And it could be me. I might be looking in the wrong places, or I might be having way too many standards or expectations or whatnot. But if you find these videos, let's make a community. Let's help each other somehow. Again, emotionally, financially, I don't know. There are multiple ways. But the only way we can do this is by reaching out to one another. And the way I'm doing that is by putting myself out there, by making these videos. If you find them, if you want to help or be helped or both, or I don't know, reach out. Let's do something. Let's make a community that actually does what it's supposed to do, what it's set out to do. My vision, at least, for a community of people afflicted with mental health issues is for them to help each other. That's my vision for now, at least. Although I'm kind of reaching too far. I mean, first things first, at least one person has to find these videos, and then another, and so forth, and so on and so forth. I'd like to think that I've made a snowball and I've let it go downhill with the first video I made 2 days ago. I'd like to think that. If that's the case, then that means I will be making I have decided, and I will be making these videos on a daily basis, but that snowball hopefully means one day it'll get big enough, and the metaphorical snowball becoming big enough will mean at least 1, 2, 5, 10 people will eventually see these videos and reach out, and we'll slowly start making a community. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Again, thank you for watching. Take care and stay safe.